Boxing Source checking in, and you see the title Demetrius Andrade. Why it was right and it was wrong for him to do what he did with Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, of course, one of the trending topics over the weekend was what happened after Canelo Alvarez's fight against Billy Joe Saunders, where in the press conference, Demetrius Andrade confronted Canelo Alvarez and, suggested that why don't Canelo Alvarez fight Demetrius Andrade? And of course, you saw that Canelo Alvarez, asked that question of like, who you fought, or something like that. But the thing about it is that with Demetrius Andrade, he is in a compromising position. This is somebody that has pursued a fight with Canelo Alvarez since 2014. There was a point in 2014 when Canelo Alvarez was the top-ranked contender for the WBO super welterweight title that was held at that time by Demetrius Andrade. But that fight did not take place. Instead, you had Canelo Alvarez facing the likes of Alfredo Angulo there, and then Erislan De Lara and James Kirkland before fully going up to middleweight against Miguel Cotto. But at the same token, you had Demetrius Andrade go back and forth and trying to make a fight to defend the WBO super welterweight title, and he eventually got stripped after one defense. So that was one thing that kind of came up when it came to Demetrius Andrade and Canelo Alvarez, and that's at 154. At 160 pounds, you had Demetrius Andrade as the WBO champion, which he still is WBO champion. And then at one particular point, you had Canelo Alvarez with the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF titles at 160 pounds. But he did not elect to fight Demetrius Andrade to become the undisputed middleweight champion. Now you have Canelo Alvarez on the verge of becoming the undisputed champion at super middleweight with that one fight against Caleb Plant, who was the IBF super middleweight champion there. But in the case of Demetrius Andrade, him continuing to pursue a fight with Canelo Alvarez after his first call out back in 2014 or whatever it was, still is not a good look for him. I know that it's been difficult for him to get fights to have against the other champions there at 160 pounds. Yes, you do have the WBC champion there in Jamal Charlo. You do have the WBA champion in Ryota Murata and the IBF champion in Gennady Golovkin. We see that Gennady Golovkin and Ryota Murata have been, penciled in to have a fight there in the at the end of the year, which is, this is more than 6 months away. So the only other thing is for Demetrius Andrade to fight Jamal Charlo. And, there have been rumblings that there was another attempt for Demetrius Andrade to fight Jamal Charlo, but Tom Brown said that he was basically dismissing the fight, and that's why you see Charlo going up against Juan Montiel on Showtime. So that is something that's really curious there. But you see that a lot of people are going after Demetrius Andrade at this particular point for what he was saying to Canelo Alvarez. But the thing is, it's like, what else is out there for Demetrius Andrade to do? After he had his fight against Liam Williams, he did have a fairly bad performance against Liam Williams and still came out with the victory. But if he's not able to get himself in position to fight any of those other champions at 160 pounds, then what other options does he have? So it's a bad situation there for Demetrius Andrade, but that looks like that's the story of Demetrius Andrade over the course of his professional career, particularly when he started to win those world titles starting at 154 pounds. That's what I got in reference to this particular topic. You share your thoughts on it in reference to Demetrius Andrade. Is he right? Is he wrong? Was he out of line? Or, whatever, and check out more topics that we talk about here on this particular YouTube channel and catch the podcast that's available on iTunes On that note, I'm out. Peace.